opting in was a big thing. Mitch McCarron and Mitch Creek, two superstars, of course, of not only their respective teams, but the NBL. And once they opted in, their social media teams went to work. This is a little bit of what popped up yesterday.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. The show goes on.
Hashtag NBL Overtime to get involved. We've spoken so much about opting out and how it all means, what it means going forward for NBL 21. But two men who opted in, and no doubt to the relief and the excitement of their fans. I'm talking of Melbourne United and South East Melbourne Phoenix fans who were ecstatic yesterday. I speak of the two Mitches, Mitch McCarron and Mitch Creek, who joined us on NBL Overtime. I'm going to start with you, Mitch McCarron, because firstly, congratulations on opting in, but more so, congratulations on your recent wedding. Isolation, quarantine, nothing stopping you getting the job done right now.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a crazy time, obviously for everybody, and a lot of people are uncertain. And we were supposed to get married May 9th in Mallorca, and obviously that opportunity has been taken away from us. So it was cool to just get married. That's what we were trying to do in the first place. So it's done.
Now, before we go any further, and Creaky, welcome to you. You haven't been married or anything the last couple of weeks we don't know about, and have to congratulate you too.
Look, not that I'm aware of, but there have been some long nights, and I'm not sure what happened. So let's not cross it off just yet. But that's a few years away from me, I think.
All right, let's talk about this time. It's such an interesting time, an uncertain time for so many people in all walks of life. But in a situation such as you two find yourself in, and the decision to opt in, I have no doubt, was one that took a fair bit of conversation and communication with yourself, agents, and the team, and even the NBL head office. We'll start with you again, Mitch McCarron. Have you found this process of saying, hey, you know what, I'm staying even though it's uncertain at different times?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a bit draining. Obviously, a lot of negotiations have gone back and forth, and it's hard to see, I mean, not only myself, but your teammates and guys that you've played with and their families kind of, be put in a situation, and what COVID is doing to people, it's hard to see that. And people are forced to make decisions that may affect the rest of their career and affect their lives as they know it. So that's been, as I said, a bit draining to see that and just have, real honest conversations with people about, oh man, I'm not sure if I can do that and still survive, and play ball the way I want to. So it's been hard, but I think, people will come out on top. They've just got to do what's best for themselves.
Creaky, how about you, mate? How did you land on your decision to opt in?
Look, I've obviously got really good care with Mogul Sports, and they've been phenomenal throughout my career in guiding me to where they think is best for me. I've never really been that guy that said, hey, I want to go and play in, Germany. They've called me and said, hey, this is what we think's best for you right now. I guess you mix that in with what the fans gave us in year one with South East Melbourne, like the love we had. You could walk around and see South East jerseys game one in the stands. Like, that's a pretty spectacular feeling to look around and to see that you've already got support of Melburnians. So, you mix the fans, the culture we built, the engagement with the community, as well as what we did as a team. I thought we were very competitive, unfortunate on many occasions. But at the end of the day, even if I wanted to go and play overseas, I can't. No one's going to really be able to travel until probably January next year. So my paycheck's not going to start until then. So right now, 50% of something was better than 100% of nothing.
That's a great mindset to have. And my second part of Liam's question is, talk to us about the relationship you've built with Tommy Greer and how that has helped even more cement the opportunity to go back and opt in with the Phoenix.
Yeah, look, Tommy's been instrumental, not just in my career as a GM, but also as a friend and a teammate. We played together with another one, Inspectors in the Seaball, about 4 or 5 years ago, I think it was. Made a grand final. We were Eastern Conference champs. Like, my relationship with him started way back then. He came as a reporter to the NBA Summer League with you, Liam, and you guys have obviously seen him grow into his position now. So our friendship is kind of what it's been based on. And now it's a simple conversation. Like, I don't even talk with Marquise and Jai Watson with Mogul Sports half the time. Normally it's me and Tommy just kind of chewing the fat, nutting out a few things. What do you want? What do you want here? And then they communicate what we spoke about. So there's a very smooth communication process of both of us, and we trust each other. So I know he's not going to do something behind my back, and he knows I'm going to represent the Phoenix with, the utmost respect and pride every single day.
Mitch McCarron, this is going to be, I don't want to be too formal and use your full name, but just so there's no... Hey, obviously, 4 players, as I touched on with Melbourne United opting in. It's such a weird situation, but was there any type of conversation with the teammates or the other 3 guys who are in a similar situation to you? Not just maybe to say, hey, we're going to stay, but also to try and get some guidance in such a weird time?
Yeah, we were a pretty tight group. I know there were a lot of reports throughout the year saying we weren't, but we were. Like, guys talk, and as I said, like, we spend a lot of time with each other's, partners and families and kids, and so we're in constant contact about, well, this is what I've heard. Have you heard that? And just fact checking back and forth, and that was really important throughout the entire process to, especially for delegates, to keep the other guys informed. And eventually, yeah, like I said, it was just everybody had to make a decision that was best for them and their family. And fortunately, we've kept some consistency in the roster, and we've got some guys coming back next year. And I know the club will work hard in the off season, and we'll put together another strong team and compete.
I guess this question could be for either of you guys, whoever wants to take it. I mean, for guys like you, all NBL level sort of performers, what were the kind of pros and cons that you were weighing up throughout making this decision?
Macca, you want to go on this one first, mate?
Well, I'm not all NBL, mate, so you go ahead.
Hey, I didn't make all NBL either, brother, so don't worry about that.
Hey, you know what we can do, though? Hey, there's an all NBL selector in there here if you want to take it up with Liam Santa Maria while we're here.
Hey, I gotta leave this early and go and work on my game, apparently, so appreciate it, mate. You owe me a few beers. Now, look, it's never an easy process when the world's got a question mark next to it. With how the NBL season finished last year, there's an asterisk next to that as well. So no one really knows what's going to happen in the coming months or the next year or 2 years, how the economy is going to recover, how the ownership group going to recover from this as well, how much of a hit do they take internationally as well as domestically. So there's so many unknown questions. For me, it was a very simple one. It was, my sister and my mum lost their jobs almost immediately. I flew my sister from Coffs Harbour down to Melbourne, so she's living with me now. Trying to take care of and make sure my mum's okay. And staying locally is the most important thing because I can be there for my family. I don't have any kids or a spouse or partner at the moment, so I'm very independent in the fact that I can look after them if I need to. And, unlike some people who have got families, they have to make those conscious decisions. And for me, it was about my actual family and making sure they were okay. And at the end of the day, you've only got one family and you got to look after them in a time where people have lost their livelihoods, their jobs, friendships, relationships, whatever it might be, houses, investments. It's a really good time for us all to come together and be there for each other. So for me, it was really simple.
Macca, how close did you come to opting out?
We had a constant negotiation about what was best. I think, the decision was probably forced upon players at an early point. It was kind of like, well, you got to, opt in or opt out now. And so, as it's been mentioned, like Europe aren't signing guys now. They never, they don't. Usually, most of them haven't even finished season now. So you'd have to wait later in the process. So I guess it was just a constant discussion. I have loved my time in Melbourne. I love the club. I love the people. From the office staff to my coaching staff to front office and the owners. So everyone's been really good to me, and I was excited for year 3 as it was. We had some good discussions about my role going forward. Obviously, with the loss of an import spot, locals have to take more responsibility about maintaining how we wanted to play, and I'm looking forward to doing that.
Is there a feeling of a little bit of unfinished business, not just with yourself, with this group of Melbourne United players? Because grand finalists, 12 months ago, then a semi-final loss this year in that game 3, but probably playing your best basketball at the end of the year, probably sorted some stuff out and got going late. Is a bit of unfinished from yourself, I guess, unfinished business as a team? Yeah,
definitely. I haven't been a part of a team that's won a championship yet, and that eats away at me because of my, fortunate success in Europe, whatever league it was, we won both times I was over there and I come home and we don't. So that's frustrating for me. I think we had a really good team last year. We just probably left it a little bit late to click. and put ourselves in some tough situations against a really good Sydney team. So for us, as I said before, we've got this consistency of a few guys that are coming back now that have established themselves. You know, Joe found some success, especially later in the year. He really learned how to play and how to succeed within our system. Shea does what Shea does, and I'm sure we'll keep adding, to our crew.
Homicide, you're our nickname giver on this particular show. What are you rolling with these two boys at the moment?
I mean, money-making Mitch McCarron is still that. Make no mistake about that. Don't worry about that. And Mitch Creek, man, what do you say about this guy, man? This guy's back there building trailers for his whip. I mean, Mitch Creek is just Wolf Creek, man. That's just what I roll with. It doesn't change. They have upheld the names given to them.
Hey, Creaky, do you think you might have opted in a bit early if you hadn't been having all-night Monopoly games with your teammate Adam Gibson? Do you think this process could have been done a bit earlier had you have found some sleep?
Look, that was the most ridiculous game of Monopoly I've ever been a part of. We sat down at about 7 p.m. with dinner, board set up, and it was my sister and two other people, and it was just literally, let's just have a quick game. It might go till midnight. That's a 5-hour game. It's normally much longer. Got to 2 a.m. and we're all like, all right, it's probably time for bed. And I looked at Gibbo. He looked at me and was like, we're going to bed. And then everyone went out at 3 a.m. and it was just me and him head to head. And we played until 10:45 in the morning until we finally got a winner. And it was the most stupid idea I've ever had because I felt sick for about 3 days. So I haven't touched the board since, and it's going to be really good kindling for my next backyard fire I have.
Creaky, it was all eyes on the deadline yesterday. It was kind of a fascinating time. We don't often have these kind of hard deadlines in the NBL like they have in the NBA. What were your thoughts on how it landed? Cotton, Kay, Ware, Cooks, Hodgson opting out, and you and a whole bunch of other blokes staying put.
Look, some of those I think may be strategic. Opt out, re-signed at a higher figure, understanding your 50% pay cut. All those guys are going to be making over that 200 mark. So it is just dependent on what they're actually trying to do. As I said, everyone's situation is different. So you don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. I have 3 businesses and a property I've put basically all my money into. So it's long-term for me. It's not a short-term thing. So everyone's different, but I'm making it work. And, I'm fortunate that I've saved well and I've done certain things in my life, business-wise, as well as being lucky in some cases where I'm going to be okay. But a lot of guys aren't. And I was watching it pretty carefully thinking there could be not just 3 or 4 guys. It could be, 10, 15, 20 guys potentially go. But the question goes back to where can you play and when, because we can't travel. So it makes it really hard. So sometimes you just got to bite the bullet and then just take what you can get and understand that they're trying to survive, long term and build a product for the future generation of basketballers, not just a 2 and 3 year success program for us right now.
Macca, what are you doing exercise-wise, fitness-wise? How are you just going for runs? You got a hoop in your driveway? What are you doing to be able to stay in some type of shape to know that when the restrictions may be eased, hopefully sooner rather than later, you're going to be at least right to get back into game shape soon?
Yeah, I don't have a hoop. And every outdoor court I go to is packed. So it's been hard to get shots up, which is cool that people are playing ball. I just want to play too. But
when you hustle them, get a bit of extra cash on the side, maybe make up some of that money you might have to give.
Mate, I got to stay away. So I've just been in my backyard, in my house. A lot of band work, which has been, Nick Popovich has been incredible. The physios have been incredible from Melbourne United, just continually checking in on me and making sure that I'm progressing and doing things right. So from that perspective, my knee feels really, really good. And yeah, that's all I'm really concerned about right now. I think the touch will come back. So I can't wait for that date. But yeah, and works great right now.
What do you got, Creaky? You see you laughing there.
It's a weird time. Like, we can't go and shoot a basketball. Like, how crazy is that? Like, who would have thought 6 months ago, you're hooping, everyone's having a great time, and to, getting paid, having some, family around, got the boys over for a barbecue and some beers, and now you can't even go and get a coffee. You can't even go and, like Macca said, just shoot a basketball. You can't, all I can do is dribble the ball inside or on uneven kind of concrete outside. So it's just a really strange time, and it's just funny to hear people's perspectives, thinking like we can't do shit either. So we feel like we're stuck in mud here, but it's everyone's going through it. So we have to try and adapt and make people aware that it's an important time to follow the rules, because you want to try and get back to a little bit more normality.
Very well said. And we appreciate you jumping on to have a chat to us as well. It has been, as Liam touched on, it was one of those really weird days yesterday. We very rarely have it in the NBL with the way the structure is traditional. So to be sitting around at different time zones around the country as well and seeing opt-ins or opt-outs, and then to see not only the fans' excitement with both your respective teams, but also the social media teams and the way they went about it. Got to give kudos to the South East Melbourne Phoenix digital team for giving a little Wolf of Wall Street around you, Creaky, yesterday afternoon. So it was a remarkable day. Been remarkable times and continue to be so until we get back on the court. So stay safe and healthy, and thanks for sticking around. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Take care.